2 letters that contained an ocean of memories and feelings. A name that stirred her heart, even now. Oliver Harrington. They met in a snowstorm, both reaching for the last scarf on a clearance rack at Harrods. Their hands brushed, eyes locked, a spark ignited. He insisted she take the scarf. Ever the gentleman. So it began. Morning coffee dates that spilled into lunch, then dinner. Long walks through London parks, the green scarf wrapped snug around her neck, his arm around her waist. Lazy Sundays reading books and sharing dreams, tangled together in his tiny flat. Her, an aspiring writer searching for her voice. Him, a struggling actor hoping for his break. 2 artists chasing uncertain futures, finding solace and strength in each other. Sophie loved Oliver with the fierce intensity of a first real love. He was passionate, sensitive, charming and handsome as hell, but also stubborn, brooding, and maddeningly mercurial. Their fights could rattle the walls. Doors slamming, voices raised, tears shed. They'd apologize and make up until the next eruption. Perhaps they both felt too much, wanted too much, from life and from each other. Oliver's career began gaining traction first, bit parts becoming bigger parts. He was away more, but they held tight to their love. The green scarf went with her everywhere, a tangible talisman of their unbreakable bond. Until the unthinkable happened. Positive pregnancy test. A dilemma. She was only 21. A baby wasn't in the plan yet. But after the initial shock dissolved, Sophie grew excited imagining a little person who was equal parts her and Oliver. Surely he would feel the same? He didn't. A baby will ruin everything we're working towards, he railed, voice shaking. We're not ready, Sophie. I'm not ready to be a father. His rejection pierced her heart like an icicle. How could the man she loved not want this baby that was the very embodiment of their love? In that moment, she saw in Oliver she did not recognize. Or perhaps she finally saw him clearly, his ambition, his selfishness, his immaturity. The illusion of the grand love affair shattered. Sophie had the baby, a girl as fair and green-eyed as her father. Oliver drifted away, chasing his acting dreams to Hollywood. Sporadic emails turned to silence. She was left with a baby to raise and a broken heart to mend. But mend it did, scarred but stronger, as she poured her love into her little girl, Olivia. The green scarf went into a box at the back of the closet. Sophie eventually found her voice, spinning poetry from her pain. She published a book, then another, built a quiet, rich life as a writer and mother in a cozy Oxford cottage. 23 years passed in a blur of bedtime stories, park outings, sticky kisses and skinned knees, of deadlines, book tours, writer's block and royalty checks. The love for her daughter filled the empty spaces left behind. Most days Sophie was content, if not blissfully happy, until the letter arrived. It was from Oliver. He was in London and wanted to see her. The old feelings surged to the surface. Anger, hurt, nostalgia, curiosity. Against her better judgment, she agreed to meet him. The pub was mercifully dim, muting the lines on his face, the gray in his hair. He was still heart-stoppingly handsome. Damn him. Conversation was polite, stilted, dancing around the unspoken history between them. Then Oliver took Sophie's hands in his touch still electric after all this time.
Sophie, I'm sick.
Cancer. I've made many mistakes in my life and have many regrets, but none greater than letting you go. Leaving our daughter. I'm so sorry. I was young and foolish and blinded by ambition. You were the love of my life. You still are. I just wanted you to know that before it's too late to say it. Sophie's heart squeezed painfully. She had imagined this moment so many times. A grand apology, a plea for forgiveness. It was more bittersweet than she had expected. Her anger had faded long ago, replaced by acceptance and hard-earned wisdom. Looking into Oliver's eyes, still the same stormy gray blue, she saw the shadow of illness and the specter of death. But even more, she saw the young man she once loved with reckless abandon. For the first time in decades, Sophie felt she truly understood him. Understood them. She forgave him, not for him but for her. to finally let go of the ancient hurt and resentment that still shackled some small part of her heart. They held each other and cried, grieving for all they had lost and would never have. But there was freedom in the flood of tears too. She could feel the fissures in her heart fusing back together, stronger at the broken places. That night, Sophie pulled the box containing the green scarf from the back of her closet. The fabric was soft as ever. The scent of Oliver's cologne still clung to its fibers. She clutched it to her chest, eyes closed, reliving every cherished, painful memory it contained. Then she wrapped it around her neck and went to wake Olivia. "Darling girl, I have quite a story to tell you. About a boy and a girl and the scarf that brought them together. Sophie knows now that some loves aren't meant to last a lifetime, but that doesn't make them any less significant. If anything, it makes them more precious. Every love, no matter how brief or broken, has something to teach us about ourselves and the unfathomable depths and resilience of the human heart. Even a love that ends is still worth having, still a rare and perfect gift." The scarf still carried the memories, but its story wasn't finished yet. She would pass it on to Olivia, adding a new chapter to its history. One day, perhaps Olivia would stitch her own initials into its tassels, wrap it around her daughter's tiny shoulders, and the love, mistakes, lessons, and forgiveness woven into every thread would carry on. An enduring reminder that the heart is a resilient miracle, one that breaks and heals and learns to love again and again, without end. Sophie walked into Olivia's room and gently shook her daughter awake. Olivia rubbed her eyes, groggy and confused. "Mom, what's going on? Is everything okay?" Sophie smiled and sat on the edge of the bed, the green scarf still draped around her neck. "Everything is fine, love. Better than fine, actually. I just wanted to talk to you about something important. Something I should have told you a long time ago." Olivia sat up, suddenly alert, sensing the gravity in her mother's tone. "What is it?" Sophie took a deep breath, gathering her courage. "It's about your father, Olivia, and about this scarf." She fingered the soft fabric, the stitched initials. Olivia's eyes widened. Her mother rarely spoke about her father. He was a ghost in their lives, present only in Olivia's vivid imagination and her occasional brave questions that Sophie would gently deflect. A secret heartbreak Sophie kept tucked away. "Until now. Your father's name was Oliver Harrington," Sophie began, her voice wistful. "We met when we were young and madly in love. This was his scarf. He gave it to me the day we met, and I've kept it all these years." Sophie told her daughter everything: the wild romance, the unexpected pregnancy, the painful breakup. She held nothing back, not even the parts that made her wince with residual hurt and regret. Olivia listened raptly, tears welling in her eyes, as the father she never knew sprang to life in her mother's story. When Sophie got to the part about Oliver's illness and their bittersweet reunion, Olivia grabbed her mother's hand, squeezing it in silent sympathy and support. "I forgave him, Olivia," Sophie said softly. "Not just for him, but for me, for us. Holding on to anger and resentment only hurts the one who holds it. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It just means you've made peace with the pain and are ready to let it go." Olivia nodded, a stray tear escaping down her cheek. Sophie brushed it away tenderly with her thumb. "I wanted you to know the truth about your father, the good and the bad. He was flawed and human like all of us. He made mistakes. We both did. But at his core, he was a good man who loved fiercely, even if he didn't always know how to show it. Just like I see in you, my darling girl." Sophie unwrapped the scarf from her neck and placed it gently around Olivia's shoulders. "This is yours now," she said, voice thick with emotion. "This scarf is a part of your story, of our family's story. Wear it and remember that you are a product of a great love, even if it wasn't a perfect one." Olivia clutched the scarf to her chest, inhaling the scent of the past mingled with her mother's familiar perfume. She felt as though a missing piece of her heart had just clicked into place. "Thank you for telling me, Mom," she whispered. "I know it wasn't easy for you, but I'm glad I know the truth now. I feel closer to him somehow." And to you. They held each other tightly, the scarf cocooning them both, a green embrace of shared history and healing. Two hearts knit together by the intricate, unbreakable threads of love, loss, and redemption. From that night forward, Olivia wore the scarf often, to lectures at university, to her first job interview, on chilly evenings out with friends. Each time she wrapped it around her neck, she felt enveloped by a legacy of love. Her parents' love, imperfect and interrupted, but no less real. Her mother's love, stalwart and sacrificial. Her own love, just beginning to unfurl in her chest like a fresh new leaf. She added her own stories to the scarf's tapestry. A coffee date with a boy who made her heart flutter. A picnic in the park with friends, laughter ringing in the breeze. Late nights studying, the scarf draped over her shoulders like a hug. Each were added to the catalog of memories embroidered into every stitch. Years later, Olivia met a young man with kind eyes and a crooked smile. He told her he loved her for the first time on a crisp autumn afternoon, as they walked hand in hand through the fallen leaves. She was wearing the green scarf. After that, it became their scarf, an unspoken symbol of their blossoming love. When he proposed, he tied the ring to the end of the scarf and got down on one knee in their favorite park. Olivia said yes through happy tears, marveling at the beautiful symmetry of it all. On their wedding day, Olivia's mother helped her get ready. Sophie was resplendent in a deep blue dress, eyes shining with pride and just a touch of wistful remembrance. She tied the green scarf around Olivia's wedding dress like a sash, a hidden detail for the bride alone, a sacred tradition passed from mother to daughter. "There," Sophie said, squeezing Olivia's hands, "a little piece of your past to carry into your future. Wear it in joy, my love. That's all I've ever wanted for you." The scarf eventually made its way around the tiny shoulders of Olivia's own daughter, Sophie's grandchild. Olivia told her the scarf story, just as her mother had told her, of love lost and found, of hurt and healing, of life's exquisite joys and deepest sorrows, all spun together like threads in a miraculous, unending web. For that is the magic of the scarf and of the heart itself. It holds the indelible imprints of every person who has ever touched it, woven irretrievably into the very fibers of its being. Every love, every loss, every tentative new beginning adds another layer, another hue to the rich tapestry. It stretches and frays and comes unraveled in places, only to be stitched back together again, altered but enduring. And so the scarf lives on, handed down through the generations like a family talisman, a tangible testament to the unkillable nature of love, a reminder that the heart can break 1,000 times and still beat strong, still find the courage to unfurl and reach towards the sun, because in the end, that's the only true legacy. Not money or possessions or prestige, just love, given and received, invested and multiplied. A single green shoot forever unfurling tendrils of grace and resilience through the family tree, shading and sheltering those who will come after. Like the scarf itself, love is in a constant state of unfolding, an eternal work in progress. And that is perhaps its greatest miracle of all, that we are forever shaping it and being shaped by it. Stitch by stitch, choice by choice, day by day. Every knot and tear and coming apart seam is not the end of the story, but the start of the next chapter. Every ending is only a new beginning in disguise. For something as irrepressible and regenerative as love can never truly be finished. As long as we have breath to give it and hearts cracked wide open to receive it, the story goes on, without end.